You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. My friends, this is your story. Like that city on a hill, your life has been tested by storms and illuminated by bright days. But know this, those storms didn't come to extinguish your light. They came to make it shine even brighter. Think of your life as a ship. No matter how high the waves rise, that ship doesn't sink. Why? Because it carries a divine cargo placed there by God Himself, your light. From a young age, you felt that weight, a weight that whispered, you were different from others. You weren't created for an ordinary existence. You were chosen for a special purpose by God. Yes, recall those childhood days. Did you ever wonder why you carried wisdom beyond your years? Why you often felt like an invisible burden rested on your shoulders? Maybe the people around you couldn't see what you saw or feel what you felt. But dear friend, that sense of isolation was a preparation. God was molding you in the midst of storms, shaping you into a warrior. Those moments of loneliness, those tears, they were all part of a sacred process that brought you to the person you are today. Now everyone notices how much you've changed, how your appearance radiates something extraordinary. And yes, some may be troubled by your transformation, but make no mistake, this light, this divine spark within you cannot be dimmed by the opinions or actions of others. It was planted in you by God, and its roots run deeper than any storm can reach. Watch this video to the very end, and you will feel the full energy of what it means to be chosen. Your journey, your light, your purpose, it's all part of God's magnificent plan. Remember your younger years. When people called you mature or composed, they were really noticing the depth of your soul. But that depth was only the beginning. As time passed, a divine power touched you, lifting you out of the darkness within and filling its place with peace and light. And this light wasn't just meant for you. It was placed in you to transform those around you as well. Now, when you look in the mirror, you see someone different. There's a divine glow in your eyes, an unshakable confidence in your heart. It's your inner light that has sustained you and propelled you forward through life. This light isn't just for you. It shines to guide and inspire others as well. Remember, you are the light of the world. God has placed you on a stand, like a lamp, so your light can be seen by everyone. The challenges in your life were preparing you for this sacred mission. So don't hide that light. Open your heart and let it shine, because your story could be the hope someone else needs. It is more blessed to give than to receive. Acts 20:35. Friends, in God's plan, generosity works with a divine multiplier effect. When you plant a seed today, that seed returns to you multiplied 1,000 times over. This is His promise. And today, you have the chance to plant that seed. The burdens you've carried and the light they've cultivated in your soul can now serve as a guide for others. Don't miss this opportunity. Click the Super Thanks button next to the subscribe button and support spreading this light to more people with a $20 or greater contribution. Remember, this act of generosity will return to you as abundant blessings. In God's plan, every seed planted bears fruit in abundance. You lived on a frequency different from those around you. Sharing joy easily wasn't your strength, nor did you find comfort in ordinary molds. This disconnect created an invisible barrier that hindered your soul's deeper quest. It felt as if you were trying to grasp a meaning that kept slipping through your fingers. Many of you tried to fill this void by getting lost in the uncertainties of life, feeling fear, anxiety, and sometimes wandering down the the wrong paths. The world around you was chaotic and noisy, while you constantly struggled to keep yourself steady amidst the waves. Throughout your life, you've been searching for something, though you couldn't quite name it. At times, you wanted to make yourself seen. At other times, you wished to disappear into the crowd. The intensity of your emotions weighed heavily on you, and you always carried the burden of feeling deeply. Those around you, your peers, and even your family, struggled to understand the internal turbulence you were experiencing. This left you with a sense of emptiness, an unseen loneliness. These feelings left traces on both your body and your face. Your confusion, internal battles, and the weight of being misunderstood showed like a mask on your expression. You often noticed that you looked older than your age, as if your timeless essence was manifesting outwardly. When you looked in the mirror, your reflection felt unfamiliar, didn't it? There were moments when you felt exhausted before truly enjoying life. You couldn't connect with your own image. The person you saw didn't reflect the strength you imagined or the inner balance you longed to achieve. This disconnect was a reflection of the chaos within your soul. There was always a distance in your relationship with your body. Maybe you didn't nourish it properly, or perhaps you never learned how to give it the care it deserved. Your body, which should have felt like a home, instead became a source of estrangement. It often felt like a tool, reminding you how far you were from your goals. Deep down, you knew you weren't meant to be like everyone else, but the desire for belonging and acceptance gnawed at your spirit. For the sake of these desires, you risked drifting away from your true self, reshaping yourself in an attempt to be seen. Nothing you wore ever seemed to fit right, because the restlessness inside you reflected outwardly. Clothes felt either too tight or too loose, much like the misalignment within your inner world. You felt uncomfortable, out of place, and misunderstood. Yet, amidst all this chaos, there was a quiet call growing deep within you. A whisper, a gentle but persistent nudge, urging you to step into the person you were always meant to become. A silent, yet powerful longing of your soul. Even in your darkest and most chaotic times, an unseen hand was guiding you. When you felt lost and uncertain about your path, you were, without knowing it, being shaped toward a greater plan. The obstacles you faced were not meant to break you, but to strengthen you and prepare you for your future purpose. Perhaps you didn't realize it then, but you were chosen for a special mission. The storms you endured weren't sent to destroy you, but to train you for a new beginning waiting on the other side. Over time, you began to feel a stirring within, a small but undeniable spark, and you slowly embarked on a journey toward your true self. You learned to quiet the noise of the chaos around you and listen to the stillness within, the guidance rooted deep in your soul. You started to see your body not as a burden, but as a gift, one entrusted to you. You began to care for it, not just physically, but also with spiritual peace and love. This transformation wasn't a display of vanity, but a reflection of gratitude for the gift entrusted to you by the Creator. Unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. John 12:24. Beloved friends, aren't there times in life when we feel like that seed falling into the ground? Lost, unseen, misunderstood, but in God's plan, that fall is not the end. It is the beginning of growth and abundant fruit. Though we may not have realized it then, every challenge allowed a divine strength to take root within us. Looking back, we now understand just how valuable the burdens we carried truly were. In the past, We may have missed the beauty that was right before our eyes. We failed to recognize the strength hidden in our innocent gaze and the light shining through our struggles. A lack of self-compassion, the inability of others to truly understand us, and the weight of life's burdens pressing down on us. All of these were intricately woven by God into a plan to shape us into who we were meant to be. Now, as we look back on our past, a deep sense of compassion awakens within us. We can now see how strong we were during those times. Yes, everything on the surface wasn't perfect, but our strength didn't come from surface-level perfection. Our strength came from our ability to rise again every time we fell. The light within us was the real power that propelled us forward. Imagine a ship navigating stormy seas. No matter how turbulent the waters, it moves steadily in the direction set by its captain. Likewise, in the stormy waters of life, you have followed the path that God has laid out for you. The storm didn't bring you down because God was there, protecting your vessel. Over time, the weight of those struggles that once wore you down began to ease. The chaos within you cleared away, replaced by a sharp clarity and profound peace. The grip of fear on your life loosened, and anxiety no longer held you captive as it once did. Instead of seeking external validation or answers, you allowed the emptiness within to be filled by divine power. You embrace this power as the foundation upon which you rebuilt yourself, trusting fully in its guidance. Then something remarkable happened. Your appearance began to transform alongside your energy. The face that once bore the weight of worry now radiates divine confidence and peace. The hesitation in your movements was replaced by grace and a steady presence. You adopted a style that reflects your authenticity, simple yet profound, free from the fleeting trends of fashion or the standards imposed by others. Your outward appearance has become a reflection of your inner peace and God's love for you. The one who is favored by God is like the light of morning at sunrise on a cloudless morning, like the brightness after rain that brings grass from the earth. 2 Samuel 23:4. Friends, you are like the shining morning light in this world. The hardships you've carried and the loneliness you felt were all part of God's plan to fill you with divine light. You are a bearer of peace that may not always be seen, but is undeniably felt by those around you. Imagine a lantern. It guides the lost through a stormy, dark night. That is who you are. The warmth radiating from your eyes is a reflection of the divine transformation within your soul. This light is a gift from God, one that can only be carried by those who have been forged through struggles. There was a time when you felt misunderstood, unseen, and as though no one could grasp the path you were on. But now you understand. Not everyone was created to walk the same road as you. This difference, this sense of being chosen, is a privilege. The feeling that once pushed you to fit into this world has been replaced by a purpose to bring transformation to it. Your life has undergone a profound transformation. Feeling different is no longer a struggle. It has become a source of pride. In God's plan, light is never hidden in mediocrity. Your light carries a message that this world desperately needs, and you know this light is here to unite people, inspire hope, and illuminate the darkness. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. Friends, this verse tells your story. Every hardship you've endured, every tear you've shed, and every silent prayer you've whispered has been part of God's preparation for something greater. When the weight of life felt unbearable, know that it was given to strengthen and shape your soul for His divine purpose. Like a seed taking root in the dark soil, you have grown through the darkest moments of life. Even in the middle of the storm, God was with you, hearing your prayers. Through quiet whispers, He gave you courage. Be patient. Beauty will be born from this struggle. And here you are today, feeling how those challenges have transformed you into a radiant light. This is your moment to let your inner light shine and continue this incredible existence. Immortalize this moment and spread your magnificent light to the world so that God's light will remain upon you. Show your light by subscribing and clicking the Super Thanks button. With a $20 or greater contribution, you can help bring this message to more people. Sow righteousness for yourselves, reap the fruit of unfailing love. Hosea 10:12. Friends, God's promises are true. Every act of kindness you have performed in your life is like a seed planted, and in God's law, those seeds never go to waste. Today, you are invited to be part of this message. Remember, God's promise is clear. Those who plant seeds of goodness will reap 1,000-fold. Take this opportunity today to help spread this holy light to more hearts. Never forget, every step you take carries meaning in God's plan. You are not an ordinary traveler. You were chosen to carry God's light in this world. And now, that light shines brighter than ever before. This transformation has not only changed you, but also affected those around you. Some have noticed your inner peace and the light you carry within. They admired the balance you have discovered and the strength you exude. They found inspiration in the depth of your existence and wanted to learn from you. However, not everyone embraced this change with open arms. Some saw the light within you as a threat and tried to extinguish it. This was resistance aimed at the peace and strength you worked so hard to achieve. But the light bestowed upon you is far too powerful for any ill intent to reach. This light, drawn from a divine source, continues to shine as an undying brilliance, untouched by envy or malice. No one lights a lamp and hides it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand so that those who enter may see the light. Luke 11:33. Friends, you are like a light lit by the hands of God. This light was not given only to illuminate your path, but also to help everyone around you find their way in the darkness. It is a light so powerful that even those who try to hide or extinguish it ultimately cannot stand against its brilliance. The transformation in your life has not only changed you, but has also touched the lives of those around you. Your newfound inner peace, balance, and the light you carry have reached others. Some recognized this peace and admired it. They were inspired by your story and wanted to walk with you on your journey. Yet, like every light, yours was not met solely with love and admiration. Some saw your light as a threat and tried to dim it. This resistance targeted the peace and strength you worked so hard to achieve. But know this, the light God has given you is too powerful for any ill intent to touch. It is a gift from a divine source, untouchable by malice. Like the sun atop a mountain, no clouds or shadows can completely obscure its brilliance. Against envy, evil, and obstacles, this light serves as a shield for you, for it was sent not just for you, but to fulfill God's purpose on earth. There is something they fail to understand about you. Your transformation is not just a physical one, but a profound rebirth of your soul. The divine power continues to work in you, and the foundation He has built for you cannot be shaken by any external force. Now, As you sit in peace with the person you have become, you look back at the memories of your past. You revisit those old images, ones you once avoided because they reminded you of your shortcomings or struggles. But this time, you see the courage, the resilience, and the beauty within those moments. You recognize the strength it took to become who you are today. Behold, I am making all things new. Revelation 21:5. Dear friends, God's work in you is like an artist shaping a masterpiece. You are a creation reborn in His hands, becoming more beautiful with every touch. There is something those looking from the outside cannot grasp. Your transformation is not just in your outward appearance, but deep within your soul, where God is crafting a divine rebirth. And this foundation, created by Him, cannot be shaken by any force. Think of the roots of a tree. We see only the trunk and the branches above, but its strength comes from its roots. You are like that tree. Your ability to stand tall through life's storms comes from the strong foundation God has built deep within you. That foundation enables you to rise stronger from every challenge. When you look back at the pages of your past, you confront memories you once avoided, moments that reminded you of your shortcomings. But now, you view those memories with new eyes. You no longer see just your mistakes, but also your courage, your struggles, and the way God has worked within you. Those images are proof of how God has shaped you into who you are today. In the past, we may not have noticed the beauty right before our eyes, the strength hidden in our innocent gaze, the light shining through our struggles. These were things we failed to recognize. A lack of self-compassion, the inability of others to understand us, and the weight of life pressing down on us. All of these were carefully orchestrated by God as part of His plan to shape us into who we were meant to become. Now, when we reflect on our past, we are moved to tears, not from regret, but from deep compassion. How could we have missed our own worth back then? No matter how confusing those times felt, there was always a light shining within every struggle. In a world where we felt misunderstood, we now recognize the courage it took to stand firm and move forward. What carried us was not superficial perfection, but the strength to rise again every day, even under the weight of our burdens. Unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed, but if it dies, it produces many seeds. John 12:24. Dear friends, there are times in life when we feel like that grain of wheat falling into the soil. We've felt lost, unseen, and misunderstood. Yet, in God's plan, that fall is not the end. It is the beginning of growth and fruitfulness. Even if we didn't realize it at the time, every challenge allowed a divine power to take root within us. Looking back now, we see the true value of the burdens we carried. In the past, we might have missed the beauty that was right in front of us. We failed to see the strength hidden in our innocent gaze and the light shining through our struggles. A lack of self-compassion, the inability of others to understand us, and the burdens of life. These were all part of God's divine plan to transform us into who we were always meant to be. Now, as we look back at our past, a deep sense of compassion awakens within us. We can now see more clearly how strong we were during those times. Yes, everything on the surface wasn't perfect, but that wasn't what made us strong. Our strength lay in our ability to rise again every time we fell. The light we carried within was the true force that propelled us forward. Imagine a ship. No matter how turbulent the sea, it moves forward in the direction set by its captain. You, too, navigated through life's stormy waters, following the path God charted for you. The storm did not bring you down, because God was there, safeguarding your vessel. How young and vulnerable we were back then, yet how resilient. Those small bodies and pure minds found the strength to carry us through the difficulties. In the steps we took into the unknown, surrounded by worries and weighed down by fears, we managed to rise again every morning. The masks we wore weren't attempts to hide ourselves, but efforts to protect what was inside. While we thought the world was seeing us as we were, we didn't realize that even then, God saw us for our true selves. He always recognized our worth, and even before we began to understand His guidance, He never left us alone. Today, when we look back at our former selves, we don't feel pity. We feel pride. And how could we not? They were doing the best they could with what they had. Those past versions of us built the foundation for who we are today. They fought for everything we now have. Those selves of the past, struggling amidst uncertainty, shaped our future. It's because of their resistance against sleepless nights, indecision, and a world where we searched for our place that we stand here today, stronger and wiser. We owe them everything. They loved us more deeply than we could have ever imagined. For us, they fought battles we can no longer remember, but those battles reshaped our souls. When we look back at our past, we feel a profound sense of gratitude and love. We were not perfect, but our former selves were brave. The dreams they felt too weak to pursue were saved and preserved for us to fulfill in the future. They carried those hopes, believing that one day we would bring them to life. Now we no longer seek anyone else's approval, because we know we are deeply loved and accepted by our Creator. We have realized that this love has always been with us, and it is more than enough. Even though we are who we are today, we cannot forget the versions of ourselves that carried us to this moment. They may have been surrounded by fear, but hope always lived within them. They dreamed of the peace we now experience. They prayed in their own way, longed for this life, and their calls were heard. Even when we felt trapped between walls, God was always listening. Even in moments when we couldn't feel Him, He was there, quietly guiding us step by step toward the peace we live in today. In our lives now, we carry the hopes and legacy of our past selves. We feel the resilience they gave us, the lessons they taught us through their struggles, and most importantly, the love they offered us even when we couldn't see our own worth. With every step we take, we know this love strengthens us, and we feel God's presence with us at every moment. He saw what we could not, the potential within us, and the strength forged through our struggles. Even in the moments we felt like we were falling apart, He was the one holding us together. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. Dear friends, the light God has given you shines not just for you, but to illuminate the world around you. This light is not the result of your efforts, but a gift of God's grace. He created you with a unique plan, shaped you through challenges, and refined you through every trial to make you stronger. The light burning within us today is not just an existence, it is a living manifestation of God's love. Think of a lamp. It cannot burn without oil or shine without a source of power. Your light source is the infinite power of God. It is a light that cannot be extinguished by human judgment or life's trials. Its roots are deeply anchored in divine love, a place no storm in the world can reach. Every struggle and every effort in your life prepared you for where you stand today. Remember the moments when God was refining you. In those difficult days, He collected every tear, heard every silent prayer, and was preparing you for a greater victory. Today, you stand with confidence, knowing that this light does not burn by your strength alone, but by His grace. Now, we move forward with peace, knowing that we are enough just as we are. We've realized there's nothing missing in our being. Every step we take is filled with gratitude for the past, appreciation for the present, and faith in the future. We know this journey is part of God's divine plan. With every step, we move forward under His guidance, proud of who we are, and face the road ahead with determination. To those who have yet to see the light within themselves, to those who don't recognize their true beauty in the mirror, do not despair. You are stronger than you think, more special than you believe, and God is always with you. One day, when you look back on these moments, you will see your strength and beauty clearly. You will recognize the courage you carried with every step and the resilience you showed in every challenge. In that moment, you will realize you have been steadily moving toward the person God has been shaping you to become. And then, the value you hold will stand as an unshakable and eternal truth, one that nothing in this world can ever take away.